In today's video, I'll have a closer look at the lightest lure fishing rod I ever reviewed, and that's the Mifine Nano Jig ZERO, casting rating from 0.2 to 0.8 grams. And it has Fuji reel seat, Fuji guides, Toray carbon, and also have a look at how slim this tip is. This is fantastic. I guess before talking about the rod itself, I will talk about what you are getting with this rod. So, the rod comes in this bag. Again, simple deal. I seen better ones, but I seen worse ones as well. That's it. And also you are getting a hook keeper that you can attach onto the blank. That's a great approach and I like it a lot. You know, if you do not like hook keepers in general, you have an option not to use one and vice versa. That's great. Okay, so now let's go back onto the rod. I guess I will start with the butt section and will move the tip section out of the shot for now. So, as you can see, the handle is like super tiny, super short. I would say maybe 15 centimeters long it is, and it has this carbon effect that is kind of not shiny. It's matte finish. So, very, very cool. And also, reel seat, I hope you can see, it says Fuji here and here too. So, nice, quality, and simple. The same carbon effect on this screw too. That's cool. And yeah, no sharp edges around here. That's always good to see. Okay, let me flick this rod around and let's continue. So I will take measurements and everything a bit later, but just look, that's my pencil and that's a blank. It's about 5 millimeters in diameter. This is insane. So yeah, Nano Jig ZERO, 6 feet, 183 centimeters, and from 0.2 to 0.8 grams casting rating, and this is accurate. Now we have plenty more information on the other side, which I like, you know, like weight and guides and so on, some warnings too. So yeah, very simple, and you will notice that the blank has this matte finish too that I like. It looks very, very, you know, slick and nice. Okay, let's move on. First guide, that is Fuji. I hope you can see it here on this leg. It says Fuji. And yeah, it's smaller guide that I like on this rod, you know. I think it's appropriate to use smaller guides. So yeah. Looks nice, neat, and quality. Okay, joint section, super slim, just super slim. But yeah, simple deal. Nothing to write home about. Reliable, tested, and so on. Okay, now let's grab the tip section. So that the joint, again, simple deal, and you will see this code here. I hope you can see it somewhat. So let's say you'll get a rod and accident will happen, you will break the tip, then you would need another one, you just write down the code, send it to the seller and buy a new tip. That's great. Again, first guide on 2 legs, smaller guide on 2 legs. Now we got the first guide on 1 leg, and the guides are very, very small toward the end that I like as well. And this is a section or area where tubular tip goes into a solid tip. So from here on out, it's solid tip. So yeah, as you can see, guides are super tiny. This will be the rod with the smallest guides. I don't have any, like, you know, lure fishing rod that would have such a tiny guide. You know, for, again, for this kind of a rod, that's very, very appropriate. So yeah. And last guide is of anti-tangle type, and it has that little strip of orange. I like this a lot, and I believe every single lure rod should have this, because, you know, when bites will be slow, something bright, small, will be like very visual, you know, when it comes to bite indication. That's great. So as you can see, tip is like super, super slim. Actually, now let's take the measurements quickly when it comes to diameter. So I will measure the area here, and you will see it's like 5 millimeters something. If I remember correctly, it's 5.5, something like that, yeah. It's ridiculous. This is awesome. And now the tip, I will have to be extra careful because, you know, that's a super delicate rod, and I don't want, you know, to break it by handling super fine carbon with a metal caliber. Okay, it's about 0.6 millimeters if I remember correctly. Yeah, 0.66. So this will make the lightest rod I have, and casting rating, as I mentioned, is accurate. Okay, last test, just to make sure, you know, that we are getting a good reading. Yeah, about 0.66 now it's showing, so super fine rod, super fine rod. So now let's have a look at the weight of this rod too. It says on the blank here, as you saw, 55 grams here, but it will be less, I believe, if I remember correctly. 47 grams for the butt section, and see, just I'll make sure I'm not touching anything. No, it's all good. So 51 grams, so nearly like 3 grams and a bit less than declared, you know. So this is awesome. So now let's talk about the action. So since the tip is so fine, it has somewhere between fast and extra fast action, even though the manufacturer says it's medium fast, but I would not agree with that. I would say it's extra fast because, you know, that tip just bends itself. So I would say it's somewhere, as I say, between fast and extra fast. But since the blank is so, you know, fine, all the blank actually bends. I mean, it bends, I don't know, I would say 2/3 at least of the blank would bend on the, like, you know, when you hook a decent fish. So, and this is very, very important for such a rod, because when you will hook that big fish, you will want, you know, a lot of action of that rod coming into play. Not only tip, you know, would bend, but most of the rod, which is great. And when it comes to recovery times, in my opinion, they are very, very good and very much appropriate for this kind of a rod. I'm not saying that they will be like super fast, you know, as in for like, you know, medium casting rating, let's say up to 20 gram rod, good lure fishing rod, you know, like expensive one. But since the blank is so slim here, it won't have such a fast recovery times. But as I say, for this type of a rod and for the presentations you will be using, the recovery times are, as I say, very, very good and very, very appropriate. So yeah, this one will be my favorite rod from now on when it comes to fishing for silverfish on lures, even grayling as well. So this one will be the bomb. So yeah, very quality components. Everything is Fuji. Carbon is 30 ton. Tory one, if I remember correctly, and it's put together well. Nothing is to be desired, and what else I can say? If you will decide to get it, I will leave a link in the description below. Check it out. And you just can't go wrong with this rod. If you are into super ultralight and silverfish, I mean fishing on lure, you will be very, very happy with this rod. And when it comes to the reels, you will need like 140 grams reel. So this Cast King Kestrel is an easy recommendation because I used it and abused it a lot. It still performs. Lion lay is 9.5 out of 10. Like visually, and I had zero problems when it comes to, you know, line going above kind of the lip here and creating loops on the next cast. Never happened on this rod, and I hope it won't, but I was using very light weights, let's say under a gram, like half a gram, 0.3 grams with this reel, and yeah, it just performs very well. It's a little bit muddy because it's been used. Yeah, some beads everywhere, but yeah, yeah, you will be happy with this reel if you will decide to go with this rod. It's a good combination, in my opinion. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. And again, don't forget to check out those links in the description below. Over and out.